Hi, this is Ashley. Today I'm going to make a layout. So I started by cutting a cloud out of an old dictionary page. I just freehanded it right out of the paper. Put it on my layout, decided where I wanted to go ahead of time. And then I randomly cut some rays out of some scrap paper, arranged them behind the cloud, and then I taped them in place. I used a neon yellow ink pad. This one's by Hero Arts. It's one of my current favorites. And just applied it directly to the background paper. Just patted it in place. Worked it in between the rays up at the top of the page. Applied a little less ink at the bottom than at the top because I wanted it to sort of fade towards the bottom of the layout. And then I checked the cloud, decided it needed a little bit of misting, so I sprinkled some ink on and let it dry for a while. I cut out some photo corners. I love framing layouts with photo corners. I think it just provides a little bit of a sort of visual edge to the border of the page, sort of defines it. And this is a great photo corner punch. You just fold them up and they just slide right on, and then you'd hear them in place later. So once all the misting ink was dry, I removed the rays, figured out exactly where I wanted the photo and cloud to go, and then I decided I need something at the bottom. And punched out a lot of heart confetti. Didn't take very long. I just used some scraps of white cardstock and 3 different punch shapes and sprinkled them all around. Picked out some glitters that I thought would look good. Decided to go with the gold one. Cut out a heart. Again, if you have a cameo or something awesome, some sort of die cutting system, I'm sure you could use that. Covered the heart with glossy accents. One of my favorite mediums for adhering big chunky glitter. And then just sprinkle the glitter on. This is just glitter. This was actually from the dollar store, but it's kind of a cool, big, chunky, flaky glitter. Once it's dry, tap off the excess, and there, put on the cloud. Then I had some gold foil thickers I thought would look good. Wasn't really sure where I wanted the title to go. Then I decided it needed to go on something, so I cut it a white cloud, arranged it all. Needed something behind the photo, tried some blue vellum, added a tag, looked okay. Needed more photo corners. I love photo corners. They're such a great way of defining a picture. And added a few little hearts to the cardstock tag. And when I got them lined up, I decided that the hearts confetti needed to be lined up all nice and neatly. So once I had the clouds arranged just so, I realized I actually had 2 different fonts of thicker, so I was going to need to decide which one to use. So while I was thinking about that, I started hearing all of that heart confetti. I used a toothpick, some liquid glue, and a pair of tweezers, and just start gluing them in place. I like to sprinkle the confetti on randomly first, and then go back and glue it on one piece at a time. I know it sounds tedious. It's really not that bad. Especially when you watch it in 32 times speed like you're seeing right now. But it doesn't take very long. Liquid glue dries pretty quick. And then I stuck on the photo corners. Put everything back. Started gluing stuff down. I thought that the top of the layout around the clouds needed something, so I tried tucking some tags in. They were too busy, they didn't look right. I tried moving them around. Felt like it really needed something up there, or maybe the bottom, so I tried some little white confetti hearts. I liked the little touch of confetti in the clouds, so decided just to glue it on and go with it. I find after I've been working on a layout for a while, like this one, which is actually a couple days at this point, I just need to start gluing stuff down, because otherwise it takes me weeks to do a page, and that's just not reasonable. So I decided that the dictionary cloud needed a little bit of bulk on the page. I wanted it to pop off, and because the paper was thin, I just used some foam, covered the entire back piece of the cloud in adhesive, and then little foam pieces. I always keep scraps in my desk to use for little pop dots and a bit of dimension, and stuck it right on the layout. So it's time to glue down those little yellow hearts, which are just some little scraps I'd punched out the other night. I had them lying on my desk in a little cup of confetti I like to keep around, because you never know when you're going to need some confetti. So I finally decided on which letter stickers to use. I went with the more ornate ones instead of the simpler ones. I always use a pair of tweezers when I add on letter stickers. I don't know, maybe I have clumsy fingers, so I find it easier to get the positioning precise. And then I used a label maker to add on the words in between the titles, the focus words of the titles. Kiss these toes. I ended up calling this layout I Could Kiss These Toes All Day. Oh, and there's my cat Delilah. So if you saw my thread at 2Ps about cat on the table, that is why I was asking that, because my cat is always on the table. Again, I really want that tag up there, so I tried it in a few more places and decided that it worked. Maybe it was going to work behind that cloud. I left it there for a while before I adhered it. Page needed something else somewhere. I tried some of these awesome neon labels that I got from Walmart. They were too bright, didn't really fit, stuck out too much, so I ended up going with this pale blue label from an old set I had from Jenny Bolin. Tore it, stuck it on the edge of the cloud, and then trimmed it off. I usually like to use the edge of my scissors to sort of scuff up anything I've hand trimmed so it doesn't look kind of so wonky. I use my awesome Tim Holtz scuffing tool to scuff up the edges of the layout. And there, it was done. So I hope you enjoyed this, my first layout. You can come see the still shots at my blog, Things That Shine, which is found at ashleycalder.blogspot.com. Thanks so much, and hope to see you all soon.